Okay. Now we are now we are answering Spooky's question or Garrett's question. Um. Wow, Garrett asked some pretty thought-provoking questions. One thing about this game is the relationships that are made. And I'm not going to read the whole question because it's pretty long to read and that'd be boring. But basically he wants to know two examples of a friendship made because of this game and a friendship weakened because of this game. Um, that's a tough question because when I play these games, I don't take them personally. I do make friends during them, but I don't take things like personally. Like if I get blindsided or I blindside someone, it doesn't like personally bother me too much. I've gotten worked up over games, but I don't lose friends over them typically. And quite frankly, if you are no longer friends with someone because of a game, well then, quite frankly, I'm not referring to you specifically, Garrett, but just anybody in general, like, that's kind of petty and immature, and I don't know if I'd want to be friends with someone who isn't going to be friends with me because I betrayed them in a game. It's like being pissed off at your friend for beating you in Monopoly, in my personal opinion. Um, Two friendships made because of this game. Um, the thing is anybody that I built a relationship with in this game, I already kind of considered my friend. I would say probably the person that I had the least bit of a relationship, but we grew to have a bit of a relationship in this game was probably Rob. Um, Rob and Russ to an extent as well. Russ and I didn't talk a whole lot because I wasn't around too much in the earlier stages of the game when the alliances were being built, but I made sure I was being included in the alliance talk. Um, I didn't talk to Russ too much because I kind of also knew he seemed to be really in control of our tribe, and I knew at some point I wanted to take him out, to be perfectly blunt. So I didn't want to build like a super close bond with him just to betray him, because I mean I knew it would come like to that, and I didn't want to betray him like that. So I kind of wanted to stay a little bit distant, so that way when I voted him out, he didn't get too pissed off at me, like kind of how he got upset at Cherry. Which I mean, it's understandable; they're friends, so I mean, I totally get why he's upset. But I didn't want anything like that to happen to me and him, so I didn't want to even get too close to him to the point where he would hate me for life or whatever. I don't think Russ would hate someone for life over a game. I'm just saying I didn't want to get close to someone just to cut their throat. The Rob also, we talked a little bit. We didn't talk too much, but Rob is probably the other person that I did get to know him a little bit better through this game and kind of know how he likes to play these games. Um, One thing that amazed me about Rob is how charismatic he is because everyone seemed to love him. Like, it baffled me how Russ and Neil immediately trusted him, and there was no reason for that at all. I'm like, why do we trust Rob? Like, what did he do that made us trust him? Like, I don't know. Like, he's like that one guy. I know we all have that one person in our life that everyone loves, and it's not that you hate them. It's just that you don't get it. And I mean, I'm not saying Rob's like I don't get why people like Rob. What I didn't get is how everyone immediately trusted the guy. Like, it baffled me. And that's what, like, it was like, if everyone's trusting him in a Survivor game like this, that gives me major red flags. And it made me very cautious of working with Rob, but I knew Rob was not as solid with Neil and Russ as Neil and Russ thought he was. So I basically went to Rob and was like, oh yeah, hey, what are you thinking with the vote? And I did bring up even Russ's name as an option because I, I wanted him to know that I was open to voting out people from my tribe because I kind of already knew that the Humpty Dumptys were doomed because none of the Humpty Dumptys wanted to work together. But that's going to be discussed in a later question. But Rob and Russ are the two examples that of people that I got closer to. In terms of getting weaker, doesn't really apply to me. I don't feel like I got. I don't feel like my friendship with anybody in this game has been damaged in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now you kind of asked another question in the, I don't know, like the closing part of your questions, and you want me to talk about jury management. Oh no, first you mentioned my game was mostly luck. I don't agree with that completely. I would say the last, like, 3 rounds were luck. Like, probably once Neil left, my game kind of became luck. That is probably the best way to put it. Because I was aware that Neil and Russ were not in with the group as well as they thought they were. So I was able to get with Rob and Cherry, and I was able to get them to vote Russ and Neil before me, because I knew that that was going to happen. So it was kind of one of the situations where, like Sandra, I tried to help Russ and Neil out, but they did not listen to me. So I was like, well, if I'm going down on a sinking ship, I'm going to be the last one on the ship to die. So, really, I made sure I was in good with Rob and Cherry, and that I would basically be the last person from the Humpty Dumpty tribe standing, and from there, hopefully, people would approach me with ideas on what to do. So I don't really feel like my game became luck until like Final 5, personally, but that's my argument for that. Rob was the stronger player. Yeah, he definitely controlled the game more than I did. I'm not going to argue that point. In terms of jury management, I basically didn't vote for DJ Mikey, and I wanted to possibly make a move with him. And even after it failed, I mean, I didn't vote for him because, you know, I hope he votes for me because I did, you know, I did want to save him. And actually, he was one of my closer allies in the game. I didn't vote for Neil, even though I knew he was leaving. Jury management. I didn't want to piss Russ off too much by getting super close with him and voting him out. So even though I voted him out, I didn't want to make sure. I wanted to make sure that we weren't like BFFs when I cut his throat. Beyond that, I didn't really do too much jury management because I was away a lot because I worked or at one point, I think the night you were voted out, Garrett, I was at a theme park and I was like on my phone checking to see who I was supposed to vote for that night. So, yeah, the strategic side of my game was kind of lacking, especially toward the end, but there really wasn't anything I could do about it, and that will be discussed in the very next video, actually. So yeah, I'm beyond those specific cases of jury management. I am crossing my fingers and hoping that the jury will see my side of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video.